Hey everybody, it's Zach, Tennis Pro Doc, helping you improve your game with science. And if you've watched any of the racket reviews on this channel recently, you'll notice the presence of one constant thing, and that is the Nike Court Tech Challenge 20 on my feet. Now, I got to say, I've had these shoes for about 2 months now, and I haven't reviewed them yet. And that's just because these shoes are so intellectually stimulating to me. You know, when I first bought them and I saw them come in the mail, I thought, these aren't gonna be that good. They looked like a gimmick to me. But yet these shoes have confounded every expectation I've had of them, and they're just really an interesting shoe to play in and to review. So what makes these shoes so crazy and just so different from everything else out there right now? Let's find out. First really interesting thing about this shoe is it's a hybrid high top, which means that it's a high top shoe, but it's actually taller on the inside than on the outside. Now, typically a high top shoe, you buy them because you don't want to sprain your ankle or you want more ankle support in general. However, in this case, actually on the medial side is where the shoe really gives you a lot of support. Now, that is good for people with flat feet or people that strain on the inside of their foot, they overpronate. Now, you're still getting a high top on the outside, so you're still getting a little more of that ankle sprain protection. But what allows this shoe to be a little less high on the outside is the presence of this plastic foxing on the outside, which really blends right into the midsole. So it does give you that stability on the outside without having to ride up too high. Now, moving from the ankle collar down into the lace closure system. Now, if you notice these two really hot orange type lace closures up here, now these do cinch down all the way into the midsole, so you are getting a really good tie down there on the ankle. The bad part of this is, though, is that these are just really thin and flimsy, so over time, after tie, these are actually gonna start wearing down, and they're really not all that strong. So if Nike would just make these stronger, this would actually be a really great idea. So if you wanna customize these loops, make them more durable, all you have to do is either put moleskin around it, or number two, take the plastic tubing used to replace grommets that are broken on a tennis racket that you can feed the string through, and you can actually put that around here too and make them more durable. And on the same vein as the lace closure system, if you look at the tongue, it's the exact same one as in the Nike Vapor 10 knit. The only difference is it doesn't come all the way around the heel counter in a slipper tongue. Now, what I like about this is in the Vapor 10 knit, this material around the heel counter actually allows your heel to slip out of the shoe more just because it's a slicker material, whereas in this shoe, they just use it for the tongue and the vamp of the shoe. Now, what I really like about that is it's a thin material, but it's really padded and comfortable, so you don't have the bulk of a big tongue, but you get the comfort of that. So kudos to Nike for taking some tech from the Vapor 10 knit and actually retrofitting it to this shoe to make more use out of it. Now, moving into the midsole, it is just the standard Nike foam. And if you look in the back, this is the Visible Air or Max Air, not Zoom Air. Now, I do like Zoom Air. However, on the Max Air units, you actually are getting more surface area of the Air unit. And so it does give you just as good of a cushion, at least in my opinion, while the shoe is new. Now, as the shoe gets older, yeah, Zoom Air is gonna last a lot longer and better than the Max Air because this plastic will just start to get hard and crack maybe a little bit or lose its buoyancy. But while the shoe is new, I actually think this Max Air unit is great. Again, the bad part of the Nike foam plus the Max Air is it just makes the shoe a lot heavier. When I first bought the shoe, I noticed most of the weight is in that midsole and especially in the outsole of these shoes. These shoes actually have one of the most interesting and unique outsoles I've seen yet. Now, I'll preface this. These shoes are really only good for hard courts and hard courts only. You better not play on clay, grass, or carpet on these. But if you notice, the outsole tread actually almost has racing skids on the back. It's really, really fat herringbone. And as it comes up into the forefoot, the herringbone just gets a little bit chunkier. Now, it has this big pivot point in here, which I actually did find really nice on the suicide test, which we'll see in a little bit. But also on the lateral side, you get a ton of outsole material coming up over the midsole and the upper of the shoe, as well as on the medial side of the shoe. And I've often complained about that on shoes. Either they'll have a lot of tread on the inside or on the outside, but not both. This shoe actually gives you both. Now, the greatest thing about these treads, which also I think is the most overlooked, is that it has two flexion extension points. One right here at the metatarsal phalangeal joint, which is your big toe joint, and number two is up here where your toes break. So you're getting a lot of forgiveness here at the ball of your foot as well as in the toes. And that is really nice for a shoe that has this bulky of a tread, that you're actually able to bend it both at the ball of the foot as well as at the toes. And for all that weight and material on this shoe, they actually only rose 15.3 degrees during the infrared test after 45 minutes, which is actually better than some other much lighter weight shoes that we play tested this year. But the most confusing thing about these shoes is their fit. You would think they'd be really unforgiving in the forefoot given that there's the outsole material on the outside and inside of the ball of the foot. However, I couldn't have been more wrong. I broke these in about 20 minutes. I have a 2E width foot, and I really had not 1 minute of pain in them. I had a little bit of stuffiness when I first got into them, but after that, once they broke in, I haven't had a problem with them. Thing is, they actually look pretty narrow from the outside. I'm actually really excited to cut these open to actually see the last. But I would say if you are above a 2E, maybe go up a half size. Other than that, you can pretty much go true to size. They are also true to length. If you're an ankle sprainer or have a very high arch foot, the high top is going to give you a little bit more protection against ankle spraining and rolling. If you're somebody with a flat foot or someone that has a lot of tendon strain on the inside of your arch, the high medial side is going to help you out too. Now, playtesting the Core-Tech challenges, yeah, at first they do feel pretty heavy. However, they do envelop your foot and ankle so well that they almost just become an extension of your leg, and so you actually do get used to it pretty quick. Now, the thing I liked about them the most is they do have a high heel tread that comes up over the inside, so if you are off balance or all your weight's just on one foot or you're kind of doing the splits, these do actually stay really, really stable and allow you to get up and go for the next shot. Now, when I was stalking the baseline and trying to hit balls off the rise, my opponents were really hitting some deep, heavy shots to me. The one thing that was really great about this shoe is when I was planting my back foot to try to really hold my ground, this shoe did just that. It really held its ground well, and I was able to plant my foot and redirect pace from the baseline, even when balls were really coming deep and heavy to me. And I noticed this did this better than any other shoe that I have play tested this year, especially when off my back foot or I'm really trying to plant and hold my ground. And especially on returning big first serves, I like to split and then chip my return back. On this shoe, I was able to split step plant really easily and actually get some weight behind a lot of those first serve returns. Because of their weight, these definitely aren't sprinter shoes. However, they are very aerodynamic, so they do cut through the air very fast. And if you look at the suicide test, I came in at 14.87 seconds, which for me actually isn't that bad considering the weight of these shoes. Now, I think another reason why these shoes were this fast is because these shoes grip the ground so well, especially that outsole material coming up over the uppers of the shoes, and also the fact that they are high tops, and these high tops just allow you to really throw your weight into a turn. Now, that combined with that pivot point really gripping that hard court, these shoes can stop and start really fast, a lot faster than some shoes, a lot lighter than they are. Now, because of the flexion extension points and the weight of the shoe, I only got 26 centimeters on the serve height test, which is pretty run-of-the-mill. However, on the serve distance test, I only got 66 centimeters of serve distance, which actually isn't all that great compared to something like the Nike Air Max Volley, where I got 78 centimeters of serve distance. It just shows you in that instance where the shoe is literally weighing you down. But if I had to describe these shoes in one word, it would be confidence. Confidence that my foot is going to be secure in the shoe. Confidence that when I plant, the shoe is actually going to stay put. Confidence that I'll be able to get up and go for the next shot. Confidence that when I'm off my back foot and I really need solid footing, that this shoe is going to be there for me. Now, that is all predicated on hard courts, like I said, so don't try to go do this on clay. But I would say if you're looking for a really solid hard court shoe, if you're a really aggressive mover, honestly, this shoe is one of the best of the year. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this play test as much as I did. Hope you have a great day, great night, wherever in the world you are tuning in from. I'll see you next time.